Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Fantasy Football Locker Room, hosted on the Fantasy Football Perspective, a new weekly show that we're going to do once a week this year, 2022, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm here with my co-host, Andrew Fryman, BJ Allen, and we're usually going to have Jim Stroker as well, and he is out of town on a work conference. So he cannot be here today, but do not worry, ladies and gentlemen, I have his picks. I will be your host today. My name's Lucas, and this is the Fantasy Football Locker Room. And we're going to start off every episode that I'm sure is going to be a fan favorite. And this one is called BJ's Pre-Game Speech.
BJ's Pre-Game Speech.
All right, boys. The NFL's back. We did this last year. We learned our lesson. We know what we got this year. We know what we're doing. We did the stats. Andy's got the stats. Polley's got the stats. We're going to blow this channel up this year. We're going to have a good NFL season, and I'm ready to roll. Let's
get into it.
Let's do it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's kind of segueing into our first football topic of the day. And what better way to start than Jim Stroker's Blazing Five?
Jim Stroker's Blazing Five.
Those of you guys that don't know Jim Stroker, he is hands down the best sports bettor that I know. We did a segment last year called Jim Stroker's Blazing Five, and on 3 separate occasions last year, he went 5 for 5. So if you follow along with his bets, which I hope you do, there's a high possibility you're going to win some money by the end of the year.
That is true.
What do you guys think about that? Did you guys follow along last year?
Oh, yeah. Jim knows his stuff.
I agree.
There was one week when he went perfect. And if you would have put that in a parlay and put like 100 on it or something like that, it would have been crazy money.
He actually went perfect 3 times, which is just insane.
Oh, he did 3 times? Yeah, which is insane. He was doing 6, right, last year? 6 picks?
So we'll share the screen with you guys real quick. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah, I see it.
We're going to make this quicker than usual because Jim's not here to give his explanations. But he did share his Blazing Five with me, and he's calling these Saturday's locks of the week. And we're going to start off. We're going to Arkansas, and he is taking the Arkansas Razorbacks -8, and he wants the audience to buy a 1.5 and get that down to -6.5. He thinks they're good enough to win by a touchdown, and that's his first pick of the week. Arkansas -6.5. We're heading over to Vandy. Right after that, he is actually taking Vandy to cover plus 12.5. You're buying a point, getting it to plus 13.5. Vandy, pick number 2 of Jim's Blazing Five. Heading to Tennessee. He's not buying points for Tennessee. He thinks Tennessee's going to mollywop Pittsburgh. He's taking Tennessee -6 on the road. And his last 2 picks. Illinois Fighting Illini -4, buy a 1.5. Get that down to -2.5. Easy money, he says. And last but not least, we're going to the nightcap. USC at Stanford. USC is going to get battle tested in the trenches. We're going to see how good their offense truly is. But he is taking them -8.5. They're going to cover. Buy a 1.5. Get it to -7. If you don't know Jim's betting strategies, he always tries to get it to football-related numbers, meaning 6, 7, 9, 10, numbers that can actually get accumulated by football amount of scores. So, to recap one more time, Arkansas -8, buy the 1.5, get it to -6.5. Vandy plus 12.5, buy the point, get it to plus 13.5. Tennessee straight up -6. Illinois -4, buy the 1.5, get it to -2.5. And USC -8.5, buy the 1.5, -7. Locks of the week. Jim Stroker's Blazing Five, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Stroker is definitely going to be our betting expert here on the Fantasy Football Perspective. He is by far the most knowledgeable, and he takes this stuff serious. Do you guys have any games that you've kind of looked at the lines and just think that these lines don't make sense? You can take advantage of some very, very obvious lines the first couple weeks.
So no college games for me, but I think Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a lot better than advertised this year. They're going up against Carson Wentz and the Commanders, so I look for that to be an upset. I think Jacksonville will come in and shock everybody. Their defense is going to be pretty good, in my opinion, and I think they'll steal one there.
Jacksonville straight up.
Yes.
BJ, what about you? Do you have any locks that you like?
Mine's going to college, and I think I'm going to roll with Notre Dame, number 8, and I think they're going to cover 20.5. Because, I mean, the Buckeyes are an amazing team, and I don't think Notre Dame's getting enough credit for what they truly are capable of. I think they have one of the best offensive lines in the nation. So I think they're, I can't believe the spread's that low on the Marshall game. So I'm looking at maybe 30-point, 40-point blowout on that game.
Can we stop and talk about the Buckeyes for a second? They are getting absolutely disrespected through the media, through everybody. I mean, Alabama, I can't even think about the team that they played. They were horrible, and they should blow them out. Ohio State gets tested by a number 5 Notre Dame week 1, and
Drop a spot.
I mean,
unbelievable.
That literally just says that the media and everybody didn't believe Notre Dame was number 5. Why are we putting them there then? Why are the computers saying to put them there? Why is the committee putting them there? How does that happen? Us three are Ohio State fans, and I think we can all agree. If that was last year, Ohio State probably would have lost that game.
Lost the game.
Anytime last year that Ohio State's offense wasn't putting up 30 points, we were losing because our defense was going to give up 30-plus points. As fans, I'm going to speak for us all here, this is a trend in the right direction. If our defense is only giving up 10 points to Notre Dame, and I think they gave up like about 250 to 300 yards, but it was from 3 plays. If you take those big, long 3 plays, one of them was a fluke play where the ball got tipped up in the air and stuff. Notre Dame wasn't moving it at all, and Ohio State's defense looked exceptional in the second half. So, just like last year, the offense is going to take a little time to get rolling. We have multiple new receivers. That just takes time to build that chemistry. We're losing 2 first-round receivers. Smith and Jigba goes out quick. I mean, we had new bodies out there. It's going to take some time. I'd like to see Ryan Day establish the run a little bit more, use screen plays with Travion Henderson, and they're going to be fine, guys. If our defense shows up like that each week, they're a top 2 team.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's just Ohio State. I think there's disrespect in the media for all Ohio teams in general.
Just Big Ten in general. I mean, Georgia looked good against Oregon, but let's be honest, Bo Nix kind of sucks.
Yeah, he's not that good.
He's not great.
You can't drop a team that just played number 5 at night. I know it was a home game.
Prime time, game of the night.
I just think that the spread at being 17, that really put a whole lot of things on people's minds that we should beat them by 40. But it's the number 5 team. They're full of seniors. Their offensive line is amazing. They got that their tight end is basically a offensive line.
He's unreal.
He's a lock to be a first-round pick. I mean, he's great.
Yeah, I mean, they have studs on that side. So.
That QB has wheels.
Yeah, he can run, and running QBs in the past have given Ohio State a lot of problems. I thought we contained them okay. I think Notre Dame's going to win 10 games this year with a brand new coach, which is pretty unheard of.
My prediction is the end of the season it's going to be Notre Dame, USC. Whoever wins that game gets a playoff spot.
I mean, it really could be. USC's offense is crazy too, but we'll see. That's all I want to touch base on that. My betting lock of the week is kind of like Andy's perception, and I'm going to Detroit, guys. I think the Detroit Lions upset the Philadelphia Eagles week 1. I think Hard Knocks has really amped up that city. I heard on Sunday they've already sold out the game and are selling just standing room only. That city is behind that team. And Coach Dan Campbell gets them ready, doing up-downs with the team, crying on TV, just going nuts. And that's contagious because that's day in, day out. That's not a fake emotions. He's doing that every single day, and that rubs off on people. And they're trending in the right directions. If you don't remember, they lost a lot of close games last year. Kept it close with everyone. Eagles are unleashing a new pass heavier offense this year. It's going to take a while for that to build up. I'm telling you guys, bet the line straight up. If you're feeling frisky, straight up, but I would definitely pick them to cover the spread.
Yeah, could be an upset brewing there.
Could be
I
an
definitely
upset.
feel like Jared Goff's underrated too.
And
He went to a Super Bowl.
He's good. He's good with those kind of offenses where you're just spreading the ball around. I mean, they know he's not the best player. I mean, he doesn't have to be the
True.
face of the franchise. They're not pushing him out there. I mean, they have a lot of stars in the making.
He just has to be good enough, and I think he is.
Game manager. Now we're going to introduce a new segment called Andy's Stat of the Day. Andy's Stat of the Day is going to be each week. He's just going to bring you a random stat. It could be football related. Hell, it could be about aliens. Who knows? But Andy's Stat of the Day.
Could be.
Andy's Stat of the Night.
And we're getting into it right now. Floor is
All
yours.
right. Today, guys, this is going to trend right into my running back lock of the week and some other running back picks. But this stat comes from it involves Alvin Kamara and his pass against the Atlanta Falcons. This dude absolutely shreds the Atlanta Falcons. Last year, he averaged 17.8 points in both games against the Falcons and over 100 all-purpose yards in both games against the Falcons. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. The guy just tears them up. It's a division game. It's competitive, and he takes advantage of it. So with that said, he's going to be my running back lock of the week.
Running back lock of the week. Alvin
Yep.
Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. Now he's a little bit expensive, but I think he's going to be lower owned out of the high end running backs this week.
We'll get into more of your running backs here in a second. Let's quickly go through the spreads of the game. We're transitioning now more into our DFS. So the DFS crowd, pay attention, and particularly FanDuel. If you guys missed it, Andy's lock of the week at the running back position is Alvin Kamara, and we're going to lock him into our FanDuel lineup at the week at the end. When you guys are making your DFS lineups, what's the first thing that you guys look at, or what should the audience first thing they look at be?
The over-under.
Definitely, I agree 100%. The over-under.
100%.
That's the very first thing you look at.
Yep, you want to target high-scoring games, but you have to realize in these tournaments, everybody's targeting these high-scoring games. So you build your team around the high-scoring games and shoot some outliers out there to make the effective lineup. So we're not going to focus on tonight's game yet. We're just going to go quickly through the over-unders. 42.5, Saints at Falcons, and Alvin Kamara, a running back there. Ravens at Jets, 44.5. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, 44.5. Patriots at Dolphins, 46. Jacksonville at Washington, 44. San Francisco at Chicago, 40. Cleveland at Carolina, 42. Colts at Texans, 45.5. Eagles at Lions, 48.5. Raiders at Chargers, 52. Packers at Vikings, 47. Giants at Titans, 43.5. Chiefs at Cardinals, 53.5. So a couple in the 50s. You got the last game, the Chiefs and Cardinals, and the Raiders and Chargers. So you can automatically kind of put in your head, you want a little bit of exposure. If you're making one lineup, you're a low roller, you're going to want a little bit of exposure to those two games. So keep that in the back of your mind. Transitioning back to Andy's running backs, he really likes Alvin Kamara this week. Andy, do you have your eyes on anyone else that you think can have a great running back week?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you a mid-range guy and a little bit of a lower end guy. I love DeAndre Swift. We were just talking about Hard Knocks and all that. They're motivated, and DeAndre Swift is their best offensive player. He's pass-catching running back. He can run it up the middle. He can do just about anything you want. He's the utility guy. They like him. They use him a lot. I think he's a great pick this week. And I also love Saquon Barkley for a running back pick. That price is crazy. That's probably the lowest you'll see him this year. He might win comeback player of the year this year. He's on a contract year. He has a lot to prove, and I think this year he's going to get it done. So I'll be looking to fit him into majority of my lineups this week.
BJ, is there any running backs give me a running back that you like?
That was it. Andy just talked about him. Saquon, man, that's way too low. 6,800 for Saquon Barkley, fully healthy, off the ACL, the 1 year. Usually that next year they come back strong. I agree. I think he's the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, and my running back play of the week is a cheaper running back that you can fit in a lot of your lineups because the prices really aren't bad this year. They're pretty spot on except for the little bit exceptions.
Marlon Mack being
I agree.
Edmonds is hilarious.
And my guy is actually Chase Edmonds. He won the position. He won the role. He's going to get 5-6 targets at the Dolphins, and you're getting him for 5,800. He's pretty much a lock for 10 points, and you're getting him at 5,800. So if you need a little budget relief at the end of your lineup, throw Chase Edmonds in there. Pretty much guaranteed 10 points. All right. BJ, tell me about the wide receivers and tell me who's your wide receiver play of the week.
Yeah, man. This year's a little different just from the start of the season from what we looked at last year, just because the prices are so crazy. It just seems like it's hard to fit studs this year, like 2 or 3 studs, because the prices are kind of hiked up for all those guys.
I agree.
It's weird. But looking down here, of course, you got to take the over-unders into consideration. But news just broke. He was my guy already. Marquise Brown was my go-to guy this week. I think he's going to easily get you 15 to 20, maybe even more if he explodes points this week. News just came out about Rondale Moore. I don't know who their third guy is, but Rondale Moore is supposed to be their bona fide second guy, so it's going to be Marquise Brown and then A.J. Green. I don't know who their third guy is going to be now.
Zach Ertz, probably.
Kansas City's lost a lot. They lost the Honey Badger. They've lost, pieces on that defensive backfield. I think Marquise Brown's is just smash at that price too. Just like Saquon, I think 6,900. We'll see Marquise Brown in the 8,000s by the end of a couple weeks.
I'm gonna go ahead I'm gonna go lock Saquon into that.
Oh yeah.
Love that pick.
But yeah, looking down there, just like you guys talk about the upset in Detroit, Amon-Ra, they don't have that. I mean, DJ Chark's yet to see. I mean, I can see him maybe having a decent game break, but Amon-Ra is going to be in the slot. Me and you talked about this, Lucas. Jared Goff loves his slot guys.
Cooper Kupp to Amon.
Yes, I mean they're going to run him in the slot and they're going to feed him the ball when they're in need. I could see him having 15, 20 points, and at that price too. He's one of those mid-range guys that you always see in the winning lineup too. Of course, I think Justin Jefferson might be chalk to start off, but I don't like that just because Alexander or whatever for the Green Bay. I don't like that. We said that all last year and it held true. I think it holds
Jaheir
true.
Alexander, don't target
You do
that.
not. No wide receivers against him.
But who do you target?
You target old receivers.
Yep, week
Talk
1.
about that. Week 1, Polley had a great stat. I think it was Sammy Watkins went off for 2 touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm. There's always an old receiver that goes off. Just remember, guys, week 1's the healthiest these guys are going to feel and be, and the older ones seem to decline faster as the season goes along. So I know who you're going to say next. I think it's a great pick, so I'm going to let you have it.
Yeah, man. My next pick is the opposite end of Jay Alexander or whatever. It's going to be Adam Thielen.
I love that pick.
Yeah, that's. We talked about that again, Polley, and dude, I'm telling you, Adam Thielen. I've watched him in practice. I know he was kind of injury prone last year, but you got to realize the dude was like a top 10 wide receiver before he got hurt with Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be more of the same. The dude's a touchdown maniac. They get to the red zone. They're not really looking for Jettas. They're looking for Adam Thielen to jump up and get the.
Yep, he's the red zone target. Is there any other receivers that you like?
Yeah, man. At price, if you want a target hog, at price, Christian Kirk. I mean, he is 5,800 and he's their number 1. Mm-hmm. So, my biggest prediction this year, I think that Trevor Lawrence takes a huge leap this year. He looked really good in their offense in the preseason when I seen. Christian Kirk's their guy. They paid him the money. They're going to get him the ball. He's their number 1 go-to. 5,800. He'll be up in the 7,000s, I bet.
I mean, he's going to get 10 targets a game. He has to.
easily.
I mean, they traded away LaVisca, who was probably going to get 6 targets a game, and
Yeah.
it's Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's true.
Andy, is there any receivers that you kind of like for their price?
I just circled. BJ just said what I was going to say. Trevor Lawrence, he throws the ball a ton. We saw it last year. I called that game as an upset. Who's he going to be throwing the ball to? Christian Kirk. Like you guys were talking, 10 targets, maybe a game. Wouldn't surprise me. And another guy that I believe is too cheap is Brandon Ayuk. He's even cheaper than Christian Kirk. He was coming on towards the end of the year last year. That chemistry is only getting better. I think he's a great pick. You can fit him in anywhere for $5,600 if you need some salary relief. That's easily somebody you can lock in.
Mm-hmm.
And a mid-range receiver that I absolutely love is Michael Pittman for $7,200. Matt Ryan, I think everybody's going to be all over Jonathan Taylor, and I think it'd be smart to pivot from him and go with Michael Pittman. Could be his breakout season.
Yeah, I love me. That's me and BJ's favorite receiver this year for the price.
Yeah.
I think he legit has wide receiver like top 3 upside.
Oh man, 100% with Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan targets his number 1 receiver at one of the highest clips in the NFL, from Julio to Calvin. Now Michael Pittman's going to be the benefactor.
Number 2
of that.
is Alec Pierce.
I know.
Yeah.
And they don't really have a good tight end either. So it's like, so it's
Pittman
crazy.
will eat targets.
Another low end receiver that I like is Robert Woods. I know he is coming off the ACL injury, but he fits this offense. Like, if I was going to hand pick a receiver that fits the Tennessee Titans offense, it's Robert Woods. All those short routes, he blocks well. He is great in play action, the block and release. Robert Woods there's an alleyway for him to get 12 to 15 targets a game from simply just being in the right place at the right time.
Could be.
Yep. So I think
look at it 2 years ago with Corey Davis, man.
Mm-hmm.
Eight targets, and he had a great season with Tannehill.
So if we were gonna throw Robert Woods or Brandon Ayuk, if we were playing a cash game, I would say Robert Woods is safer. But we're throwing this into almost a million entry tournament.
Yeah.
You got to go for upside. Brandon Ayuk definitely has higher upside because there's going to be a game this year where he scores 3 touchdowns. Why not, when Kittle's out, throw Ayuk in there, locking him in our flex position? I love that pick.
I love that fit. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So my job for this is to pick you guys the best QB of the week and the tight end of the week. And it just happens that I think the QB and tight end this week are on the same team, but a lot can happen between here and Sunday, boys, because Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews are a great connection against that Jets defense, but Lamar just put a hard line on his contract discussions and said if he doesn't get a contract by Friday, he is saying it's a deadline. So you take that for what you want, but that sounds to me like he's ready to sit out if he doesn't get his contract Friday. So keep at it. Keep an eye on that. I don't know. Some more things I really, really like about the Baltimore Ravens this year is they got Isaiah Likely, who's blowing up in the preseason, caught 12 of 12 targets, scored a couple touchdowns, and I think the Baltimore Ravens are going back to their true old identity, the double tight end set with one wide receiver, and that was Lamar Jackson's MVP year where they were just purely unstoppable. And that was Mark Andrews' welcome to the league year. So if they get back to that, watch out, guys. That they could be extremely dangerous. Lamar Jackson could be an MVP candidate again, but of course, pay attention to the contract situation. With this lineup, I just threw everyone in we talked about. It only leaves us with 3,200 left, but we'll make it work because, as you'll see in a second, the defenses are stupid expensive. And Jim Stroker will usually be our defensive guy, and he's not here today, but he is the same mindset as everyone else. You just want to target bad offenses with your defense, and FanDuel's pretty clever because they start putting like the team playing Chicago with the worst offensive line at 5,000. They kind of worked themselves down. But if you have an unlimited budget at the end of your lineup, San Francisco is a good call. Obviously, they'll probably get 5 to 6 sacks on Justin Fields, make his life miserable. Indianapolis Colts at 4,500 is a good call. I think they will give Houston a lot of fits. I think the Panthers could be a good call against Jacoby Brissett and the Browns. And a couple cheaper options that I liked were New England and the Dolphins. I think they're both going to give each other fits for under 4,000. Do you guys have anybody else that you guys kind of liked out there?
No, you said all I have wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
Saints are hard not to pick against
Saints.
Atlanta.
Yeah. I do think Mariota's secretly pretty good. I was reading yesterday that he averages 17 points a game fantasy football wise. If he would have played a full season last year, he would have been the 12th ranked quarterback.
That's not bad.
That's pretty crazy. So I think he's a little sneakier than people give him credit for. But why don't we don't have many picks. I'm definitely
Might as well
not.
go with the upset, Polley. Go with the upset on
I think we go to Detroit. We fit our previous upset pick of the week, and I think they're going to give Philly some fits. Aiden Hutchinson's there now, so their pass rush is going to be better. We'll see.
It's going to take some growing pains for old Jalen Hurts to get the ball to
I
these
agree.
two receivers, man.
A.J. Brown, yeah.
So what do you guys think about this lineup? This lineup's damn good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, this fits the mold for a
Now,
$1 million.
remember,
win.
we did win quite a few with our lineups we made.
I
think
think
last
we
year.
Didn't we go like
we won the first 7 weeks last year. So lock it in, boys. There you go. There's free money. Enter that.
I love it. Can't wait to see how it does.
It's there. So we'll get off this. We'll just talk a little bit, and then we'll end the show. So yes, NFL's back. We have Thursday night football tonight with the Bills at the Rams. I mean, the best game ever. I mean, how's it get better than that?
It's really is the best way to open up NFL season. I mean, it's a game everybody's going to watch. Everybody's excited to watch it.
What's your guys' prediction?
Bills win.
I'm going with Polley. The stat that he showed me about McVay being undefeated has got me. I mean, people are going to say Super Bowl hangover, but I mean, the stats don't lie.
The same resource I got that information says the Super Bowl hangover isn't real either, which kind of surprised me when they started doing the numbers. The stats that BJ's talking about is Sean McVay, week 1 is 5-0 against the spread and 5-0 straight up. Super Bowl champions from the previous year, although it doesn't happen very often, that start the next year as home underdogs are 4-1 against the spread lifetime. But on the alternative, the Bills are 7-2 straight up and against the spread against the Rams of all time. So kind of a little bit of conflicting data there, but I got to roll with 100%. Sean McVay gets them ready to play. They're going to be hyped, man. Week 1 at home. And I just think there's something to an East Coast team traveling west on a Thursday night. That has to mess with your schedule a little bit. And vice versa. I think there's something to a West Coast team traveling east on a Thursday night. It screws up everything. You can't, unless they've been there for a week or two, there has to be a little bit of jet lag associated with that. And I just think they'll be a little bit lethargic. Yeah, that's where I'm at. You guys doing any pick'ems or anything this year?
I did a couple FanDuel lineups for tonight's game. Just throwing some stuff out there.
Who's your touchdown lock of the week?
Touchdown lock of the week. Oh, that's a good one.
For tonight's game.
We did that
For
last year.
tonight?
Do that one.
For tonight?
Do tonight, Andy, and then do Sunday.
Yep.
Give me Allen Robinson for tonight. I think Allen Robinson is going to have a comeback season. I think he's going to get back to his old self. He's got a good quarterback, so his drought is over, in my opinion. So I'm going to have lock him in for a touchdown tonight, and give me Michael Pittman for my touchdown call for Sunday.
I love it. BJ, give me a call for tonight.
I do like Andy's. I love Allen Robinson. I like what Andy said. I think you've seen it last year with Cooper Kupp. I mean, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp both ate before Robert Woods went down with that ACL. But I think Allen Robinson. I can see Allen Robinson scoring a touchdown tonight, but my lock, I think, for sure is going to be Dawson Knox. 100%. I think they paid him. He's tight end one. I mean, and there's an interview last year Josh Allen was talking about that he just loves Dawson Knox. Said he had him on his fantasy team, so he's going to feed him the ball.
Yeah.
I love Dawson Knox. And then for Sunday, I mean, I don't want to say Marquise Brown, but he's my lock. I don't know if he gets in the end zone. I think he has over 100 yards. I don't know about the end zone, but I'm gonna go with Andy. I'm gonna say the same thing, Michael Pittman, man. Say the same
And
thing.
we are going to keep stats of everything we say, some keep data and how accurate
I was about
we
to
are.
say, I wrote this down.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep some stats. I'll make a spreadsheet.
Let me say somebody else so we can have a little. Give me Christian Kirk for the touchdown log.
Okay. My touchdown lock tonight is Dawson Knox as well. I think they're going to showcase him because they just gave him a big payday, which usually results in them trying to prove that he's worth the money. So I like that call a lot. And my touchdown call of this weekend is Nick Chubb. I think the Browns are going to run the ball 30 times. If you don't remember last year, the Browns got in super big trouble when they tried to throw the ball more than they should. They are going to go back to the roots, and I think the Browns are going to surprise some people with Jacoby Brissett because they're not going to go out of their wheelhouse. So that's our touchdown calls of the week. Thank you guys for joining us on the Fantasy Football Locker Room. Andrew, BJ, thank you as well. Jim won't
Happy
be
to be
here.
back.
Jim won't be here either next week, but I'll get you guys his Blazing 5 and we'll keep track. As always, if we said anything during the show that you liked, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys every Thursday, baby. Peace!
Guys.
Peace.